What if God came down one day and said it's pronounced Yod then left? What if Yod was one of us? Just a knob like one of us. A large chunk of my taking the Lord's name in vain would go away. Yod knows what was in your heart when you said it. Yod damn it. For Yod's sake. Jesus effing Christ. Oh Yod. OMJ this thread. Oh Michael Jackson. It's pronounced Michael Gackson. Shamon. Hee. Kneel before Yod. Jadamit stop. This is Yod awful. Jesus Christ man. Watch your language. Only a large chunk? Did you have some inside info on this Yod thing and start using it before his announcement? Jesus or the Holy Spirit still counts. It's pronounced Jesus. I strike you down in the name of Jesus. It's actually pronounced Jesus. Depends on the interpretation. Some take taking his name in vain to mean something like don't invoke God just for personal gain. Yes, I'm talking to you, Pastor 3 Jets. Fun fact, the word used in Torah is nasa, which means to lift up or to carry. So the verse is better translated, you shall not carry Yahweh's name incorrectly. It has little to do with swearing or invoking, and everything to do with representing Yahweh in a manner that is respectful to his commands. Pastor 3 Jets should still take heed. Do you want a holy war? Because that's how you get a holy war. The punishment due? They killed my wife and my baby. With hopes to enslave me. First mistake. Last mistake. Paid by the Alliance. To slay all the giants. Next mistake. No more mistakes. 6 Solo intensifies. Marty Friedman intensifies. He would also say, my name isn't God, then he would pronounce his name and everyone's faces would melt. His name is, at least approximately, Yahweh. Isn't it YHWH and no one knows the real vowels in between the consonants? Edit, please stop telling me the answer. At least 200 people have commented and messaged telling me how ancient Hebrew works. Yohaihi edit, I honestly have no idea why people are upvoting this. F, the secret pronunciation. My face is melting. Yoaweahiao. Ah yes, the Hawaiian version. Not enough apostrophes. Play hangman until you get smited, boom, you figured out the vowels. Yes, nobody is quite sure how the name was pronounced by the ancient Israelites. It doesn't help that most Jewish priests refrain from speaking the name in public. Yahweh is a common guess, so is Yehovah, hence the Jehovah's Witnesses. Pretty sure it's Yehau. Waluigi is Yod? No, it isn't. Y, H, W, H just means I am. This was the answer given to Moses after he tried to get God to tell him his name. The Egyptians, I understand, had a belief that if one learned the true name of a deity, one gained power over the deity. One finds this belief showing up in the story of Ra and Isis. In this cultural context, Moses' actions can be seen to be quite dishonorable. By our standards, he's trying to trick God into putting himself at Moses' mercy. The answer God gives is not his real name, it is stern correction being given to a human who has far outstepped his bounds. As for what God's name really is, if he exists, how could he possibly have one? We're talking about somebody has been present in the universe from its beginning, and exists outside of it, beyond the bounds of space and time. Why would some collection of sounds that just happen to be easy to pronounce by a collection of barely jumped up apes on an insignificant planet be his name, billions of years before the planet said apes live on even existed? The whole real name of God thing is silly, just human beings wanting to believe that they're much more powerful and important than they are. Wondering what happens to that sort of thinking when we finally meet our first aliens, and discover that we're not the pinnacle of creation? Or of existence, as the case might be? We're talking about somebody has been present in the universe from its beginning, and exists outside of it, Beyond the bounds of space and time, it's almost as if I am is a perfectly fitting name for such a god. Hey, how about a spoiler tag? You owe me a new face. We'd be like, no way. And he'd be like, Yahweh. Edit, holy crap, you all are making my day. Lol, classic Yod. Take my upvote and go Yahweh. Musical notes. You can go ya own way, musical notes. Musical notes. Go ya own way AAA, musical note. Lock the thread, this is about as good as it's going to get. Then all of Scandinavia will pronounce it like Yod and the Spanish will pronounce it like Hod. This then pisses some people off because Yod is also how you pronounce dirt. And in Swedish Jud would be a homophone for ljud, sound. Today I learned that I have pronounced ljud wrong for the past 20 years. And apparently ljus equals light, also. In my defense, Swedish is my third language and I rarely speak it. You mean you pronounce the L audibly and then the J? That's quite a tongue twister, I would say. It's not as tongue twisty as some words. I was under the same impression. At least it would fix the French problem. The proper term for a dildo is god a midget, which is often shortened to god. Of course, dildo is widely used too, probably more than god depending on region and age, before someone references it. Yeah, that scene in The Exorcist. I too watch French porn. In Spain they would start calling him Dios. Dios mío, Jesus la Virgen. Mis hojos. You thought it was Yod, but it was me, Dios. I mean, original post said God came down and said it's pronounced Yod, not spelled Yod. You'd have different religious factions arguing that they're right and the other is wrong. Oh wait. What about atheists and agnostics? Would they pick a side or start a new religion? Or maybe they deny the event even happened. Interesting stuff. As an agnostic, I'm pretty sure if I saw God I would no longer have any doubt. Not to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure it's pronounced agnostic. Alright, I'm out. It's pronounced legit. I'd be more inclined to think that I'd lost it. Well, if it was just a situation of a deity/god/creator or whatever revealing themselves, and everyone else witnessed it too, I'd be pretty quick to accept it. But if they literally just came down to tell us it's pronounced Yod and then left, I'd be right there with you. Or maybe I'd think, well, looks like the simulation theory was right, and now they're bored and just messing with us, which given the past couple of years isn't such a crazy theory. Anybody who's played a city builder game knows that once things reach a certain point, you turn to messing things up for everyone. Make some ridiculous celebrity type person in charge of the nukes. Poison the water. Set a bunch of fires. Initiate some riots. I'm just waiting on the meteors and aliens. That's when we know they'll be starting a new game soon. As an atheist, I also would believe in him if I saw him. Everyone would. If you see but don't believe, you're delusional, lol. God exists would just mean kill God goes back on the bucket list. I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it. That is pretty much the moral of one of the most famous Talmudic stories that defined Rabbinic Judaism. Web link. I feel like if I was God, and I had made a tree walk and reversed a river to prove a point, and people still weren't listening to me, I'd start smiting them with lightning in the next step and see if they're still being smartasses after that. Given the events that transpired in the Old Testament, I think humans were, are and will always be smartasses. Moses opened the Red Sea in front of thousands of people, but when he left the camp to speak to God on Mount Sinai for 1 month, the Hebrews began to worship a golden cow. He took them out of Egypt, but Egypt never left them. It was part of the Hebrew culture at that point. It also took them 40 years to walk through an area that can be crossed on foot in a matter of weeks, if you're taking your time. At some point I'd be wondering how strong this connection with the one true God really was too. Scientists have extended our lifespans by decades, allowed for us to travel faster than the speed of sound, be able to leave our planet entirely and still come back alive in what is essentially a comet made of metal, and created foods that go unspoiled for decades. All of this, and still, nobody listens to them when they try to help us. I can see why God got so fed up he finally just told Noah to get the ark. This made me laugh hard. I just see a dude named Noah, working in an office when he suddenly hears, "I'm sick of this crap. Noah, fetch the ark." So the applying the story seems to say God wouldn't have jurisdiction on how to pronounce English over the written guidance in the Torah, but in recent America, we seem to allow people to have their names pronounced any way they feel like, so precedent would be to allow God to set the pronunciation. Yeah, it's like Jesus and Jesus. Very different pronunciations just in North America alone. I've heard it both ways. Come on, son. No, Sean, you haven't. If the only thing it did was to correct a pronunciation and left, no one would care and things would quickly go back to normal. If it tried to come back as a human, the evangelicals would quickly try to crucify it. Dead messiahs are far more useful than live ones. Jewish theology seems to consist of a lot of arguing with God, pretty lit to be honest. It's encouraged. I once asked my rabbi, if Judaism forbids the destruction of media containing God's name, does it permit minimizing windows on a computer? He had an answer for that. Apparently, destruction of God's name only applies to non-temporal surfaces, so tracing the name in sand on the beach or holding the name written backwards up to a mirror and then taking it away don't count, and therefore neither does the name on an electronic display. Ancient explanations for modern problems, it's pretty crazy. My favorite is still Elon Ramon asking for advice on when to celebrate the Sabbath while in low Earth orbit given that there's a new sunset every 90 minutes. They still had an answer. Apparently, the question had come up before during 19th century polar expeditions, where there are months of continuous sunlight, and at the time they had argued that a person should defer to a clock cinched from the last possible accurate time source, which in turn was a counterargument to a centuries-older discussion on when to observe the Shabbat if trapped in a cave, which in turn referred to a 1,000-year-old discussion regarding someone in the desert that has lost track of what day it is. Bottom line, ceremonies are observed based on spacecraft time, which is based on the control center time. For a certain type of mind, the arguments in Rabbinic Judaism are incredibly fun to go through. It's basically one big litigation soap opera. I just had a brain fart. I know this was a Samuel L. Jackson line, but I just spent 10 minutes trying to figure out when Mace Windu says this. Isn't he influential in the council? It's Nick effing Fury FML. And it doesn't help when people always respond to that comment with Star Wars crap. And it happened. So, let's mess it up more, live longer and prosper to infinity and beyond. I'm sick of Theses mothereffing sits, on this mothereffing plane. These monkey fighting sits on this Monday to Friday plane. Mace Windu didn't swear enough. I'm sick and tired of this mother effin' sand on this mother effin' planet. Clone Wars, S4E7, Purple Sand. Anakin to Mace, if what you say is true, you have earned my trust. Hello there. General Kenobi, you are in the wrong universe. I will make it legal. Does that mean Jesus would be pronounced Jesus? The next great schism will be caused by a GIF/GIF style argument, that figures. Did you mean the Dreet schism? I feel like we should start building giant marble face palm statues right now to mark this point in history. Can we just add giant palms to Mount Rushmore? George Washington. Thomas Jefferson. Seriously, Jewies, gusts up. You mean the Dreet schism? Jesus. Yeshua. This AskReddit is kind of a how real Jewish/Christians religions couldn't agree for a long time on how God's real name YHWH should be pronounced. Yehovah/Yahweh/Jehovah. Judaism does have an agreed upon pronunciation. The answer is it's none of your business. The true answer has been lost to time, when the Romans killed the two people, the high priest and his apprentice, who knew how to pronounce the tetragrammaton. Ja damn it. I was going to go with my yod, he's right. But yours is better. Better by far, ja damn it. Have you seen the famous documentary on religion with Morgan Freeman, Yod? Morgan Freeman. I effing hate it, take my upvote. Bruce Almighty? Juice Almighty. Yes? What if Yod was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. If God is Yod and Yod is He, then what am I and what is me? For if a G is really J, then what's a Jwi like me to say? You see, said he, I am confused, I am perplexed and vexed, abused, and all unsure for sure, said him, because, he said, my name is Jim Gim. We've been sprogged. Praise the rhyme. /edit dudes, I know my place within the shade of a sprog rhyme to alter the Lord's name is in vain chase the joke but know that, well, there really is a rhyme hell. Sprogged. Jodzilla. Joe, Jodzilla. Would that make it Jogira? Oh Jesus. The GIF argument would be over. It's been 7 years since the creator of GIFs confirmed the correct pronunciation of the word. This just proves that nobody on the internet has forgiven him. I cannot remember which one the creator says it is. Was it a hard or soft G? Soft G as in GIF on my tits, not a hard G as in give me your load, at least that's how your mom explained it to me. He's dead, Gim. Oh Yod. Oh my Yod. Yod bless you. Kneel before Yod. Thank Yod. Dear Yod. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.